Good afternoon. It is October 21st. We are here for a Planning, Housing, and Parks Committee meeting. We're here to discuss Bill 1824, Housing Policy, Standards and Procedures Amendments. I am the lead sponsor, along with my colleague here, Councilmember Fanny Gonzalez. So we've got two of three here on the committee, joined as well by our colleague, Councilmember Juando. The co-sponsors are Councilmembers Balcom, Albernaz, Sales, Stewart, Lukey, and Katz. I want to thank them for their support as well. Really appreciate the partnership that both Councilmember Fanny Gonzalez and I have had in the past legislative session in terms of introducing this bill with Delegate Julie Polakovich-Carr, the chair of our Montgomery County House delegation, and also the feedback and the work of the Housing Opportunities Commission, who gave us some important insights into this. And I see Ms. Andrews and Mr. Silverman are here on behalf of HOC. But this bill fundamentally is about righting historical wrongs when affordable housing was somehow seen as a burden to a community rather than a benefit, and where affordable housing projects were held to different standards than market rate housing. And frankly, affordable housing projects were expected to have different standards than market rate housing. Well, those days are gone. We have eliminated that from our mindset, and unfortunately, we haven't entirely eliminated it from our regulatory environment. And this really is an opportunity for us to fix that, to make sure that an affordable housing project does not have any different standard than any other type of housing or development project. There should not be additional hurdles to prove how an affordable housing project can fit into a community, or how the issues that come from affordable housing will be addressed within a community. The reality is we desperately need housing. We desperately need affordable housing. We desperately need housing of all levels for all communities. And the best outcome we can possibly have is as many mixed income communities as possible, where folks making a variety of incomes can afford to live, can afford to stay, can afford to prosper, and benefit from all that we have to offer here in Montgomery County. I want to be clear, this doesn't eliminate public meetings, open meetings requirements, all the standards that are already enshrined into law. What it does is it simply levels the playing field to say if it is good for the goose, it should be good for the gander. If it's enough for any housing project, it should be enough for an affordable housing project, and vice versa. We shouldn't be holding different communities to different standards based on outdated perceptions that really vilify people rather than value them. So with that, I'm really excited to be able to move this forward. It's a common sense measure, but it is mired in decades and decades of outdated thoughts and outdated public policy that come from those thoughts that have really damaged a lot of communities and a lot of people for a really long time. So I really want to appreciate in particular Councilmember Fanny Gonzalez and Delegate Polakovich-Carr for their leadership. This wouldn't be possible without Delegate Polakovich-Carr's moving forward state legislation for us to be authorized to make this change, and really appreciate the broad support on the council as well as on this committee. Councilmember Juando and Councilmember Fanny Gonzalez have been champions on the broader issue that this bill seeks to address, and I really appreciate their partnership, and I really appreciate their leadership in that. With that, let me turn it over to colleagues if they have any initial comments. And without any additional comments, I'll turn it over to council staff. Ms. McCartney-Green.
Thank you, Chair Friedson, and good afternoon, council members. As Council President mentioned, that this bill was passed in the Maryland State General Assembly, House Bill 424. Just for clarity, that bill went into effect as of October 1st, 2024. And so the county code would now mirror state legislation, removing the public hearing requirements. I do have a technical amendment I do want to bring to the committee's attention, and that's on page 4 of the packet. And with looking at the county attorney pointed out that one of the Bill's objective would be fulfilled by removing HOC from the definition of agency, but it would also do some other unintended consequences in removing them from other requirements concerning implementation of county housing policy and assisting the executive branch preparing housing report. And so that was not the intent, I believe, of the bill. But so the recommendation from council staff is to actually put applicability of the section and actually specify specifically that the requirements of this section do not apply to the Housing Opportunity Commission as it relates to the public hearing notice and requirements. And so I think that helps to narrow and clarify specifically the intent of the bill. Council staff did talk with DHCA and HOC, who are also in support of this amendment, and so present that before you today.
Great. Without objection, we will accept the technical amendment with appreciation to the county attorney and consultation with legislative attorneys to make sure our enthusiasm for the issue at hand didn't cause us to be a little overzealous in the way that some of the definitions were described, and make sure that it is narrowly focused on the item at hand, as I discussed earlier. With that, we've approved that technical amendment. I think we are ready to approve it. All those in favor of approving the bill as amended and forward it to the full council for consideration, that is unanimous, 3-0. With that, and with appreciation to our guests from Housing Opportunities Commission and all those who have joined us, we are adjourned.
La edad adecuada para votar, que es 18 años de edad, antes o el mismo día de la elección, que es el martes 5 de noviembre. También debe vivir en el estado de Maryland y ser ciudadano estadounidense, sea nacido o naturalizado. De esas 3 pautas, en una información de